One. Good evening, good evening, good evening. No, I haven't been kicked out of Casa del Bryant for this week, but here once again we are spreading ourselves to all four corners of the Blood Bowl globe. It is again another Monday, believe it or not. It's come around so quickly, but yes, it's 7 o'clock. It's May the 11th, and it's your A&DBBL Monday Night Roundup. My name is Scott, and I might be somewhere different tonight, but here I am to review with you not just last week's 3 games of Blood Bowl action, but how the league standings and perambulations are looking as we hurtle towards the sharp end of Season 10 in the A&DBBL. With me tonight to share in another week's increasing excitement and hype-filled extravaganza. Firstly, the coach who will be making and breaking dreams everywhere, and not just with his own AI virtual interface. Yes, he's back, and not necessarily by public demand. It's coach of the Black Shuck Ballers, Stowmarket's finest, Mr. Tom Hovell. Good evening, Mr. Hovell. How has your Monday been?
Good evening. Yeah, all good. I'm pleased to see you put your motivational posters up wherever you go.
I do. I like to spread the Blood Bowl gospel of violence and happiness in equal measure to all parts of the globe. Secondly, with us, he's not green, but he can be a deadly fighting machine. It's coach of the Butchers. It's Mr. Luke Baggett. Good evening, Luke. How are you?
Hello, Scott. Very well, thank you.
Excellent, excellent. Apologies, gentlemen, as well. The usual flamboyant introductions have been downscaled purely because of time pressures this week as well. Good evening and welcome everybody joining us in chat on Twitch, whether you are a current A&DBBL coach or you're from the wider Blood Bowl community, checking to see how your favorite team and how your favorite coach are progressing this week. Before we, though, go into our usual call-outs, just a very quick shout-out for recognising. This one goes out based on the Langdon Games results happened this weekend. Our very own, the current Ipswich champion, Mr. James Langley and his filthy rats took away top spot. So big congratulations to James, and a big congratulations to all other A&DBBL coaches who entered as well. Good evening to Dave. Good evening to Phil as well. Good evening to Mr. Coe in chat as well. A couple of reminders for homework. Aardvarks and Dragons, it's in Woodbridge. You know by now. Get yourself down there. Secondly, for charity, I was going to call out to Mr. Chris Coe, but hopefully in chat he can drop us a note to tell us how we are doing, how very close we are to raising our target money for the Trussell Food Bank as well. And remember to support the food bank. You can drop some things in store if you're not too sure of what to donate. Pop along, speak to Scott in store, speak to Luke, speak to Chris. They'll be more than happy to help. And if you yourselves would like to join us for this Monday night merriment, let us know. Whether you are new or experienced, drop us a note in Discord. So we're going to go through the 3 games from last week, and then each of us, myself, Mr. Baggett, Mr. Hovell, will be picking our coach of the week, our game of the week, and anyone we feel needs to have an imminent death on the Blood Bowl pitch. So let's start then by looking, first of all, and apologies if this does sound like it's a yours truly fest tonight, but we're going to start in the Assassins group with the last game of the league standings for the Wood Elves. So this is Feeks' Wood, yours truly, against Tom, not that one, and the Bretonians of A Trip Down Memory Lane. A 4-1 win for the Woodies. The weather was nice, lovely Blood Bowl pitch, and really it was a game from the Woodies. We got control, got the dice, scored early, pressurized Throg and Tom into getting a turnover. And to be honest, the first half was just abysmal in terms of both coaches, in terms of our ability to keep hold of the ball, to pick up the ball, and actually to do something with the ball as well. But Elves managed to do elf things, scored a very quick second touchdown, and then despite Throg making a valiant effort of returning the ball and managing to pick up the ball, knock out an elf or two, and bring it back to 2-1, Elves did what Elves did, scored a very quick counter reply, and then scored as well towards the end to make the scoreline probably more flattering than it did deserve as well. So without that, I'm going to hand over to Mr. Hovell and Mr. Baggett to question me appropriately as you see fit, or make any comments, or have a look at the teams as you would like to, gentlemen.
A quick question to both of you, because both of you have now played against Bretonians in your teams, in your group, sorry. How are you finding playing against them? Because obviously they're one of the new teams out there.
Do you want to answer that first, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, not too bad, I think, is in short. It kind of feels like they don't quite know what they want to do yet. But I think as people skill them up, maybe they'll become more, because I think you probably could build them fairly bashy, or try and lean into the throwing and passing thing. I think Tom Hunt has lent more into bashing with sort of block and guard across it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they kind of just feel like a very middle team. There's sort of nothing that special about them. I don't know, but what do you think, Scott?
Yeah, I think on paper they don't look anything exciting, but when you do skill them up, to your point there, Luke, they can offer something different. The way Tom has done and looked at them, and I will show you the Bretonian team at the moment, he has added a couple of skills subsequent to this, notably sure hands on the thrower, on the Bretonian knight there, and guard on the break tackle grail knight. When they click very well. Some of the plays that Tom was introducing, especially with that leader skill and the nerves of steel pass and then nerves of steel catch, really do open up the pitch, and it can be challenging against. And I think if you're playing against them, if you've got the agility like Wood Elves, you can get back quite quickly. You can stop breakthroughs. You can stop anyone who's doing a very a charge on terms of a potato run down the pitch. So you can stop them, but more often than not, I think the challenge seems to be they almost were failing on their own basics. So, picking up the ball on a 3-up, they were struggling with it. But when they went to try and pick up the ball in a 5-up in tackle zones, they were succeeding that. So it was difficult to ascertain. Unfortunately, the Squires, and actually at one point during the match, they were getting a lot of breaks, but on this occasion, Tom wasn't getting a lot of casualty rolls. And at one point, there were 6 stunned elves on the pitch. It was brutal to start with, but they couldn't quite convert it. And for me, that sort of encapsulated where Bretonians are. They're missing something. It feels like they are solid. You can develop them. You need to develop them. But they seem to be missing something, maybe a bit of spice, maybe something extra, just to give them a little bit more, to be a bit more competitive. Is there anything, when you look at them, Tom, you think you don't want to play them, or is there something which does or does not appeal?
No, I think they've got a lot of passing skills, but don't have the passing stats, really, do they? There's a couple of kind of comments in chat at the moment. Chris is saying, do Brets suffer from the brawling brutes effect? Not enough edge enough to make the most of edge game. Built bashy, but don't get additional SPP. We've also got questions around missing a star player, in my opinion. So yeah, I wonder whether they're a little bit like the Imperial Nobility, where when they first came out in the last season, they were a bit, what do you do with them? But now they've been changed and altered. They've started to get a little bit good, haven't they?
I think when they do get the SPP, when they do start getting a few skills, when it takes them, it gives them a bit of that flavor we were talking about there. They do have on paper a decent passing game. They do have on paper a decent bash game. But there are other teams that are much, much better in those specialists activities than these guys are as well. Again, fabulous looking sculpts, and just a shout out to Tom. He has had them painted and they really, really do sing on the tabletop as well. So yeah, on another day though, if the dice roll had gone his way, he could have gone the other way. He could have converted, say, 3 of those 6 stuns into casualties, and the elves would have been against it, and it could have been very much a totally different result as well. So that was Blood Bowl. Unfortunately, it's not to be. We all know Armor 8 is the strongest armor in the game anyway, apparently. So yeah, from that, and I think against it, to introduce a new team in this season with some very experienced coaches, it has been a bit of a challenge. But if you look at it on paper, this is a good set of skills, Luke, that Tom has developed.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's quite a fun way he's built them, and there's definitely chances in the next stages to keep building it. When we go into the sort of elimination chamber and the top table knockouts as well, there's still plenty of games to be played and keep building them up.
I agree. I think there's going to be lots of SPP and lots of skills to add to those Bretonians. Did either of you want to look at the Wood Elves, or have you had enough of that Wood Elf madness?
I just want to see them, Scott.
We always want to see your Wood Elves.
Yeah, it's only because you remind you of Tom Feeks. So this is where we are with the Wood Elves. We've finally got them to a decent stage, despite the match 1 mauling from young Carl, the Honey Munster. As you can see, we've got 2 war dancers now pretty well kitted out. 1 tackle sidestep, 1 strip ball sidestep. Both have a nice bit of SPP in the bank, ready to leash upon whoever my opponent is in the next part of the game as well. Again, we've got 2 blodgers in terms of the strength 2 catchers, 1 with sidestep though, but again, looking nice, so options there as well. The arboreal Tom Hovel, I believe it is now the thrower, obviously with pass with leader. Again, I'm going to wait to see who I find. Sorry, gents?
I says that saving for a skill up with the 10.
Yes, it is. I've got an idea. So I've got an idea of 2, which I shall share with you, Luke, off stream as well. But yeah, looking forward to that. A dodge, a block lineman are always wonderful, filthy, and at least, despite a stat busted player, we've now got the 11 players. Okay, 2 rerolls with leader isn't too bad as well. So just got to wait and see. But yes, there will be no tree. Just to confirm, and apologies to our borealists everywhere, there will be no tree.
There's a comment saying there's a spicy lineman random skills, Scott. You don't share the same randomness as the other goblin Scott has, who has had some horrible randoms.
No, I have had a few deaths from elves who have been, and yeah, I have randomized them, and I have, I'll be openly honest, hands up, I have been with the dreams. I have been very fortunate with that. So that's where we are. Okay. Unless anybody's got any more pink or wants to talk elf or wants to talk about Tom Feeks' wood, we're going to move on. So let's go on to our second and penultimate game. Oops, hang on a minute, because 1 game has started tonight already. Let's go on to our second game of the evening. And this was an incredible game, a really, really great result that shows anything can and anything does happen in Blood Bowl. We have the man, the myth, the legend. Hopefully he'll appear in chat at the moment, Mr. John Reeder, against the freebooting Firkins of Skaven from Jane. Now, Jane had been, if you look at the start of the season, obviously John had all of those green wins to start with as well. Jane, after a strong start from the Rats, had been struggling, especially in terms of injuries. An interesting matchup. Jane deciding to go out there and also, as well as anything, buy a Roger who didn't really last that long, but you were in store for this one, Luke. Do you want to give us the lowdown on this match?
Yeah, so I didn't sort of see any of the details of it, but I was kind of keeping an eye on the tour play as it was happening. And yeah, kind of losing the brand new Rauga turn 1 has got to hurt. But she managed to play it back, and sort of John scoring quite early allowed her to get the kind of equalizer, and then a sort of early lead in was it early? Can't quite read it. Getting the lead over, and I looked over, and John was I think definitely fearing he was going to get his first loss here. And then John just clarifying the sort of final turn was a 1 in 36, and then to get the kind of touchdown back to equalize. So it was very, very close the entire game, I think.
It was indeed. And Tom, as you tell us only too often, a 4-0 win with Rats is nothing, or used to be in the old world. But to see a gutter runner score a touchdown and then kill, not just knock out or cows, but kill a ghoul runner who, if I believe from memory, had strip ball and wrestle.
Yeah, John said to me he lost his favourite ghoul.
That's not a nice thing, especially when they've only just got regen in this season as well, and they failed. Yeah. John is in chat, so clearly we've said his name enough times he appears. He says kudos Jane. Couple of 1 to 36 rolls, went with 1 and changed the game. So yeah, so it sounds like it was a fantastic game. Jane really had him on the ropes for most of the game by the sound of things.
It doesn't need. You can't really say that. I mean, how many times did you want to have a flesh column scoring a touchdown there, Tom, as a fellow Necro coach?
That's beautiful. A chef's kiss, that is.
So no complaints.
As well.
Let's have a look at what that does for the necromantic horror in terms of that, as we can look down it as well. So the flesh golem now with block coming in there as well, in terms of making it 2 block flesh golems, 1 with the guard. But the big one really missing there, Luke, is that unskilled ghoul runner. Although a dodge regen ghoul runner with movement 7 is okay, isn't it, on a good day?
Yeah, it's a nice ghoul to have, definitely. I'm sure he's going to miss the wrestle and strip ball coming into the knockouts, but yeah, I mean, the rest of the team is looking very strong. Oh, hold on. Who scored the touchdown? Which flesh golem was it? Was it the Edge 5 one? Because if so, that makes it even better.
Unfortunately, MVP, the Edge 5 got MVP, but it was the other Itcher.
It was the other one. Okay, still, either way, very impressive.
So your stat, Edge 5 would have made, I think Edge 5 touchdown golem would have made it the icing on that cake just for that moment. But yes, if we look at the results for Mr. Reed, as you can see there, lots of wins, a couple of draws now. And for both of you, really, if we then compare it to the Rats, we can see that Jane, great skills on those 2 gutter runners, 2 blodge pieces, the one with the sidestep, which makes that 1-turn touchdown all that sweeter. Guard on only 1 of the blitzers as well at the moment. Dump off and give and go, which is an interesting combination on the Skaven thrower, not most people's go-to skills that we see as well. Unfortunately, no Roger, and no Skaven lineman for the next important games as well. But given where Jane had started, had a bit of a patch, and then a really good return to form, Luke, as we go now to sort of the next and this evening's match as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think Skaven they're a pretty strong team even without skills, and as you get more and more skills, they get stronger and scarier. So the gutter runners are always a threat you have to address and deal with, and having sidestep and block on both of them, well, blodge is both fun.
Definitely. I think this is going to be go on. Sorry, Tom.
Sorry to interrupt. Also, I'm not wanting people to move away from our wonderful reviewing, but it's already looking spicy from turn 1 on that game being played live at the moment.
We'll come and have a look at that shortly, sports fans, before we finish this evening's cast as well. So a great result for John, really forcing Mr. John Reader to employ all of his nefarious skills and tactics as well. Congratulations to Jane, commiserations to John, but again, undefeated still, and that's what matters. Let's go to the final match from last week then. So this is Joe and his Nighty Hoes, the Bretonians, in his first league campaign with A&DBBL as well, up against Phil and his nitro-fueled Wumpa Fruit-inspired humans as well. And really a game of casualties. Luke, a 1-0 win, a much-needed 1-0 win for Phil to keep him in contention when we come to look at the tables as well. and really a well-managed, solid performance despite everything Joe threw at him.
Yeah, it looks like Phil was playing fairly aggressive as well, kind of fouling and, well, getting sent off. But even so, that kind of shows you're normally in a position of control where you've got the ability to try and foul people off. Yeah, I mean, the kind of fairly high SPP for, you know, 3 casualties and a touchdown. Imagine to keep that clean sheet and only taken 1 injury back, which was, can't see it now. It was his thrower, or one of his throwers, who is missing next game. But he does have another thrower still available. But yeah, I'm sure Phil's pretty happy with this result.
I don't know, Phil, you in chat, any comments from Phil you want to add, Phil? I know, Phil, towards the beginning of this season, you said you're a bit still unsure about humans as a team. So whilst if you want to put any thoughts and feedback in terms of how they've developed, let's look exactly as how they've developed. We have the Ogre. He's a vanilla boy, but he is still a big vanilla boy there as well. You've still got the 1 human catcher, leap, sidestep, and sure feet. And just something that if you two gentlemen are aware, I confirmed this with Crady Scott in store as well. Leap as well can be used multiple times this edition. So as well as the pogo is doing a lot of jumping, leap you can use on multiple occasions, not just the once per activation. So a leap, sidestep, sure-footed catcher at movement 8, strength 3, plus then a sidestep, sure feet, plus then, as you said, Luke, he's got a cloud burst to safe pass. Grab and guard on one of the blitzers now, and that extra reroll opportunity with team captain. So Tom, Phil's now got a lot of really good skills to make this and turn this human team into quite a potential force. Yeah,
it's a bit of a kind of throw and hope YOLO kind of team, really, with a lot of sure feet and cloud bursters and Hail Marys when he gets the other human thrower back in the next game. And a couple of things quite like grab and guard and on that human blitzer as well. That's not bad little thing. Also, it's been interesting that the team captain is still 0 SPP, which is rather novel, I think. Humans this season are a bit of a strange one by the looks of things. Lots of people not really liking them, they're not really getting off to a good start. Interesting what you said about leap as well. That's really going to start to change the dynamic with things like leap and pogo.
I think if you're an Edge 2 team, it's maybe a bit more beneficial. I think one of the challenges will be, whilst it's good, of course, if you think about it, the Edge 3 means it's going to be a 4-up in terms of leaping over 1 player. But even if you have to leap over 1 player to score, or, even if you have to leap out of a 2 tackle zone, would you, 4-up or a 5-up even with that skill to land it, and then the 3-up dodge out with dodge reroll? As long as you've got 1 reroll, it always gives you a chance. So that's something to look forward to as well. And if we then look very quickly at Joe, Luke, Joe's had a really good season. He's been up in a really tough group of experienced coaches. Hopefully he's learned a lot as well. And he's brought a lot of enjoyment and fun to the tabletop.
Yeah, definitely. And he's, considering the kind of quality of coaches he's playing, he's managed to keep a lot of them down to sort of 1-0 wins, which even experienced coaches struggle to do sometimes, and not let games sort of run away with them. And I think, he's been randoming his skills and actually getting pretty lucky with them. Block tackle on a catcher, it suddenly makes that a bit more of an aggressive piece. And I think, the more he plays, these are his first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games he's ever played of Blood Bowl. So for that to be the case is pretty impressive.
It is as well. So first of all, congratulations, Phil, on a very, very good 1-0 win. Congratulations, Joe, as well, on your first season, and hopefully you've enjoyed the experiences as well, and bringing some great attitude and some great skills now to the tabletop. And a reminder to all coaches as we come on to talk about the divisions, just because the divisional stage has finished, that doesn't mean the season 10 is completely over. We've got all the fun of the knockout to look at as well. Now, just for your entertainment, we're going to take a very quick look at one of the early games. So look at this as a bit of an early pre-release for next week. This is a big match. Simon up against Jane, the Orcs of the Goreforge Smashers against the Skaven from Jane, coming off that great result last week, despite losing out as well. If we take a very quick look at earlies, the Rats taking 2 kegs, so coming back on the pitch for 2 up. Unfortunately, it is a bit damp out there on the pitch already, so not necessarily great for either side picking up the game. 1 casualty already, looking at it as well on turn 1 as well. So I'm assuming then if that was a casualty, either something was APOC'd or it's slightly out of sync. So it might be the casualty, the injury, and then maybe a foul and a sending off as well. Gentlemen, well, that's going to make the pouring rain, is going to make it a very interesting match for this evening. Tom?
Yeah, and
Sorry. Yeah. Yeah. No. yeah. It's gonna be one of those ones where the ball's just gonna go everywhere. Hopefully, it's gonna be an exhilarating match by the look of things already. And like you say, I wonder whether it was the casualty or whether it was the foul that caused that injury.
Well, whichever way, Luke, one less rat for the Orcs to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. And although quite big, Simon losing his dirty player goblin so early, probably on that turn 1 means his fouling game is not as strong as it could be. But yeah, I think it'll be a fun one to watch out. I'm definitely going to pay attention for the rest of the evening.
Definitely. Let's keep that. Now, what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look at standings. But before we do, you might have seen a post in Discord from our very own Mr. Chris Coe. Luke, in your role as commissioner, do you want to update all of the teams on the latest standing and impact because of changes in people? And obviously, as we know, sometimes life does get in the way, and the priority has to be people's family life and well-being anyway.
Yeah, and so Chris has done quite a comprehensive post, which I think everyone needs to read to sort of help understand the context of it. But with JD, Josh, and Jack all dropping out, we've fallen back on our FAQs of dropouts, which we set up, before the season, so we could basically, if this happened, fall back on them fairly. And what that effectively means is that all of their points get dismissed, and everyone who was to play that coach will then get 2 automatic wins, so 6 points. If you played them already and lost, that will go up to a win with 3 points. If you've drawn against them, you'll gain the additional 2 points for that game. And so what that means is we've updated the tables, and so you'll now see underneath some people's names there's a sort of bracket and then a +3 or a +6 or whatever it is. So the standings as of now are updated reflecting this, which didn't make any kind of major changes, but it may have some impact on wildcard positions. And, in the nicest way possible, I'm trying to think of a polite way of phrasing it. If you're not in the top 2 already, the kind of wild card was an extra way to get up into that top table. Not to diminish that there's still the kind of elimination chamber in the lower division. So there'll be a top, can't do the maths, 18 and bottom 18, I think. 16. There's 30. It might get a bit weird because there's 3 dropouts. And so anyway, the top and bottom half.
That's 32, Luke, and they take away 3. So if they got 35 and they take away 3, that's
I couldn't. I thought we had 36 in my head. Anyway, top 16, and then however many's left in the bottom. And yeah, so it's a shame it's happened, but we're just moving on and doing the best with it as we can. So with that all said, should we review the standings as they are at the moment? Oh, and just before, sorry, Chris has then also done an updated sort of confirmed can't get through and potential get through. And I can't quite remember what all the color codes mean, but I'm sure Chris can clarify that as well. And sorry, final thing. And the most important thing is, so while we're auto awarding these results, the option to play the game is still there. And that's quite important because you might want to try and get the SPP. And, you know, ultimately we're all here to play Blood Bowl, and we should have had 8 games each. And therefore, if someone's dropped out, you could potentially only get 6 games, which kind of isn't fair. So the kind of encouragement is to play the game if you can, even though it will be with a stand-in. And again, we kind of set out the FAQs with the kind of who can play as your stand-in, and ultimately it depends on everyone's availability. But if you're keen to play your games, please get in touch with either me or Scott, not necessarily Chris, because I think he's going to be away on holiday for a bit, so you might not get a response quick enough. But if you could mention me or Scott, and then we can kind of try and get you a game, and we'll probably give priority if you've got. So for me, for example, I've played one of my games, but I can't play the second one because the person's dropped out. But someone like Dave hasn't played either of his games against the knockout, so they would get the dropout. Sorry, would get priority first. So, you know, if you've got 2 games left, you get first priority. If you've got 1 game left, you're then lower priority. But hopefully, you know, we've got 2 and a bit weeks. We can try and get people together to play those games out. And sorry, so many things to remember. If you choose to play that game and lose, it will not affect your standings. However, if you take an injury and your star player dies during that standing game, that will persist and you will lose that player. But you will obviously gain all the touchdowns and SPP you would get otherwise. And you don't get any SPP for just taking the win. So it's not like you get a concession SPP. It's just you get the points on the table, but you don't get any SPP. I think that's everything, but please go and read the Discord post. And if you've got any questions, do come and ask us. Hopefully I've clarified everything, but I'll keep an eye out in chat if there's anything else.
Yeah, and Chris has put into the chat actually the key to that.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
So it's dark green equals guaranteed top 2, light green guaranteed top 3, yellow best case top 3, red eliminated, white could finish anywhere, and pink current wildcard.
Thank you, Luke. And again, remember, guys, you know, if you do want to play more Blood Bowl, every opportunity will be given to you to play more Blood Bowl games. It's all up to you how you want to take that forward. Best people to speak to are him, Luke, Chris, and just Luke and Scott install. Just ignore Chris. Ignore Chris. Yeah. Don't even talk to him. Ignore Chris. Yeah. Speak to Luke. Yeah. If you want quality conversations, speak to Luke. You've heard it here first.
And then Blood Bowl, just come to me as well.
Basically, yeah. Dave is saying I'm up for playing my 2. I didn't join the league to not play. Cool. Here. Carla Honeyman, I hear John Reeder is stepping in as coach for the replacement matches. Absolutely. The man, the myth, the legend. If you say his name 3 times in store, he will just appear and roll the dice before you even know he has appeared. Right, let's look at the first group then. This is the Horde team. Gents, you'll have to remind me because I don't have the color coordinated disco chart in front of me, but I believe this is done now. So Andy and his dwarfs and Graham and his elves. What a great classical combination. Still to play their game, which I believe is going to be played later this week. And based on that, though, these are the 2 teams qualifying from this pool.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the other 3 are all best case top 3. So that's all to play for in that team, in that group.
Excellent. So we will have 3 Tomb King teams in the knockout matches as well. And yeah, looking forward to seeing how those dwarfs come back against in the repeat match against those elves. Any standout moments of the league from this one from you, gentlemen? Chris? Oh, sorry, not Chris. Luke. Oh, it's been a long day. I want to say it's been a very long, busy day.
No, I mean, I think Leanne's kind of performance has kind of really started to shine this season. Like, it's clearly her games and reps are kind of, she's getting better and getting first win. I think that's pretty exciting. Yeah.
I think for me as well, seeing how James has played, obviously started against some very other tough Tomb King coaches as well. So to be on a bit of a roll in terms of form, winning 2 out of your last 3 is a very good result as well. So yeah, James could get some very solid skills as we move into the elimination. Is that the official trademark title now, the Elimination Chamber?
It is Elimination Chamber. So it's going to be, I mean, there'll be more details to come out soon, but kind of like a Formula 1 knockout with the bottom 4 dropping out each sort of round. But sort of tiebreakers and things will be more impactful. And I think it's a work in progress. I'm just looking at chat if Chris is going to clarify any further, but I think there won't be a sort of overtime thing in the Elimination Chamber. So it will all be based on your results, which will then sort of cascade as you play more and more games and get through further. So you're always wanting to do as best as you can, get as many cash as you can and as many touchdowns as you can to keep you in the steadings as you move up.
Excellent stuff. Then we've got the Blades group. So, Mr. Hovell, this is yours. As you can see, as Luke explained beautifully, if you look at each of the coaches' points, you can see there the additional point awarded to them because of in this occasion, Josh, unfortunately, having to drop out of the league. So just in there with an additional 3 points now, putting him clearly at the top of this division. Mr. Tom Hovell there. So just to confirm then, Tom, you have now, according to this, played 6 matches?
Correct.
With those, so give me 13. So you could actually take 2nd place.
I'm currently a wild card at the moment. Based on Chris's key. The first, so let's go through this. So Justin is guaranteed top 2, and Chris is guaranteed top 3, and I'm a current wild card. I've got my game to play against Ben and his gnomes on Friday.
Is that your last game then?
It will be my last game. So yeah, it's the last. I think it's in fact the last game of our group.
And then did you have one more to play?
I had one more to play.
Josh?
Yeah.
So if you want to play the standing game, you still can.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And
So
one thing Chris just clarified on the previous group is none of the Tomb Kings are high enough to get than the 2 best 3rd places. Yeah, so the Tomb Kings cannot get a wildcard slot. Chris just confirmed that. But they can still play for the best Tomb King or Queen.
And Luke, just to confirm then, if we look at Mr. Hovell, what would Mr. Hovell have to do? Obviously, he'd have to beat Ben. And I'm looking at there, he is +1 on the touchdowns. He's -4 on the casualties. So if I look at that against the touchdowns for the Bitey Ducks are +1, and then they are -2 on the casualties. So if Tom was to win, then obviously that'll give him potentially, that'll give him +2 on the touchdown. So he could force himself into 2nd spot.
Exactly, yeah. And because I think we are doing combined touchdown and cash. So there is a world where Tom manages to leapfrog Chris and knock Chris into the potential wildcard spot on 16.
That is an alternative universe, though. Let's be honest.
It is, and of course, well, but then again, you know, you've got that challenge of playing the gnomes again, who we know Ben is going to be absolutely going for it in terms of his ability for his 1-turn touchdowns. Tom, how are you feeling for Friday?
I still haven't put skills on a number of players that have got SPP, so you may or may not see a sprinting wolf.
Love it. Absolutely love the filth of it. Fantastic. Okay.
The amount you talk about it, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't one.
Me as well. Let's have a look at then the Avengers.
Assemble.
He still got it. In terms of their group as well. Will now top of the league, followed down by Scott Coach-Acredes in second place as well, 18 and 15 points respectively. Have all games finished here now, Luke?
No, I don't think so. So I think Will has at least one more game.
I believe Will has Andy to play.
Yeah, that's it. And then I think
there's Kesgrave Cup. There's quite a lot.
And then there's a Scott versus
this week for
someone else. Yeah.
So
it's quite hard to work out because there's so many, because of JD dropping out. It does get a bit weird on working out games played versus who's played stuff already. But Scott, Chris is saying Scott is guaranteed a wildcard spot, but it's whether Goblins can get enough points with 2 games to then jump up. And just remember, all these standings have the awarded wins already taken into account, even if they've got a game to play, which kind of confuses things a little bit, but we'll get there.
It does indeed. So good luck to all of the coach, to Will, to Scott and to Andy for their matches later this week as well. Then we move on to the stars. He is there still proudly at the top of the division, Mr. John Reader, necromantic horror player extraordinaire. As you can see, Simon still holding on to that second place with 15 points now as well. Jane needing that win to progress, really. I think actually though with that, I think 9:30, she'll be just outside that top 2. Phil, however, can upset the apple cart in terms of his impact there, especially looking for that second wild card place. So yeah, that'll be very interesting. And if I'm right there, guys, on terms of it, if Simon gets at least a point, that'll give him second place in the bag.
I think he's already guaranteed a second place.
Yeah, they're both guaranteed seconds. Then Nitrofewed, Wampa and Freebooting Firkins are currently in there with best case top 3. So it's a bit of a fight out for those two. So as you say, the current game is vital.
Yeah, which Simon is now 1-0 up in.
Very good. We'll come back to that shortly. In the Destroyers group then, Mr. Mark Humphrey, 17 points already through, despite the last week's and the last couple of weeks, very tough matches for the Slurry squad. Looking at that, as we can see now, it's very, very close. Mike Doobs there holding second place at this moment, just ahead of Jamie, who has some very important matches coming this week. All coaches still in it, really. So potential 17 points, another 9 points up for grabs for the Cuddly crew as well. And then really it'll be seeing how Sam and Scott respectively go in terms of the elimination chamber as well. Luke, Jamie making a very late charge for it, but with a very potent OWA Dwarf's Light.
Yeah, I mean, this group's probably the most exciting one still at the moment, where all 3 so the second, third, and fourth place are all up for grabs by all 3 of the middle coaches. Mark's confirmed as top, and Scott Norman is confirmed as last. But all of those groups in the middle are up for grabs. So that'll be an exciting one to watch out over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, and Jamie's playing 3 games, one on the 15th, one on the 17th, and one on the 23rd. So watch him, see how he goes.
Excellent. We're going then from Destroyers into the Counts. This is you, Mr. Baggett. So you've got the tier 0.5, plus you've got the extra games as well. 20 points for yourself and the man with the finest tingle ever, Mr. David Rue, the Prince of Ipswich, there just behind you on 18 points. Simon, though, not out of contention. Still 2 games to go.
Yeah, and so I'm just checking. So I think the games might all be set in this group.
So is this done?
With I think the 6 remaining games, I think are all to do with Jack. So I think these points are not going to change in this group.
Yeah, all games are played apparently, according to Chris.
Yeah, and so that standing is set now. However, there are obviously games we're wanting to play, for SBP and to play the rest of the game. So we'll be looking for stand-ins for basically 6 games in our group, which is quite a lot. But we'll do what we can.
Excellent stuff. So if you fancy playing Chaos Renegades, drop Luke a note. See how it all goes.
We're going to Gladiators will be in store.
Well, I think they will get a lot of inducements, won't they, on that Chaos Renegade team?
Yeah, I think against all of the players.
Yeah, millions. You probably get enough for a couple of star players. Maybe Morg will make an appearance. Who knows? The decision.
I'm just saying this out loud, which maybe Chris can confirm. But I think what we'll do as people play these games, we'll just admin the random skill ups. I think is what we did last season, but I'll just check with Chris and Scott. That's what we'll do this season with the dropped out teams.
Yeah, I think that's what we did. I remember we had some filthy Dark Elves over the last couple of seasons as well. On to the last group then, the Assassins group. Mr. Tom Huns now top of the league, still with 1 game to play. Yours truly now all done, 14 points. They're holding on to second place. It'll be very interesting when Mr. Honeyman, a young Carr in chat, good evening, Carr, takes on Throg and his Bretonians. So that's going to be all for that second place and for possibly a wild card as well. Watch this space, all good stuff as well. If we have a look at the calendar to see what we've got coming up this week, as Luke mentioned there, Simon going 1-0 head in the rain against the Rats. I don't know if has the weather changed, gents, or is it still raining?
It has changed.
Nice weather.
It's nice weather now.
Exactly what those Rats need, especially as well. Lots of games for you to keep an eye on this week. Starting tomorrow with Nick against Will, the Pastars against the Rude Boys, followed, as you can see, by matches through Thursday, several on Friday, Saturday through Sunday as well. So I suspect it's going to be a busy Monday night roundup next week. And the deadline, Luke, is the 24th. Yeah.
It is. And so just to remind everyone, we are in these last couple of weeks, in the interest of everyone trying to get their games in, allowing games outside of the store. But please don't just do them. Let us know what you're planning on doing, who you're planning on playing and when. And then we'll sort of agree it before you go ahead and play it. And then I think that will also allow, allowing until 5 p.m. Chris, if you can just confirm, on the Monday 24th. So, which is the bank holiday. So people could, I think it's the bank holiday. People can play during the day on that 24th to try and get it in before the cutoff. And there will be a hard cutoff on the 24th. Games will not continue, and then we'll do the draw that Monday night.
Excellent stuff. Okay,
we're being told dice down at 5 p.m. That's it.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so lots of things happening. If you are unsure or you want to see potential implications and ramifications for your team, reach out to one of the admins, probably Luke, and he will be able to confirm with his fine sense of justice and vengeance, where you currently stand in the A&DBBL season as well. That's been it for your Monday night roundup. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Luke. Thank you, Tom. My name's been Scott, as ever, not that one. We look forward to speaking to you on next week's Monday Night Roundup. Happy Blood Bowling.